Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Rooftop Perspectives. I'm your host, LanceScurv. I've talked about it enough. I've mentioned it enough. So here I am at the precipice of the big 6-0. How does it feel? I feel accomplished. I feel very accomplished. Not because I happen to play the waiting game and let the measured chronological time go by. That's no accomplishment at all. But it's about what it means to me. And when I look back over this thing called time, which we know doesn't exist anywhere else except on this particular plane, I feel as though after all that's been thrown at me, all that may have been tossed in my path, for me to be as fresh as I am, I feel very victorious. And I just wanted to speak on a few insights that, for me, getting to this junction point, which on one side means nothing, and on the other side means a whole lot. You see, back in school, you can have people students actually, who have studied very hard and have gone above and beyond what the curriculum required of them. You can have other students who don't have that sense of urgency, and they do barely enough to pass, if that. Many fail and don't care. It's all about who you are as a person. And I had a wonderful conversation earlier today with my dear sister, and we spoke on the fact that tomorrow I turn that age, 5:34 in the morning. And my view on it was quite different than most people in the world. See, there are many that I know that when we all were younger, they kind of predicted that for some reason that I wouldn't not only reach the age of 60, but I wouldn't reach a time of accomplishment. And what you've got to understand is that it's not for all of us to reach or take the same path, the same journey as the other. There's some who come out of the gate in the race of life. And again, the race of life is not about anybody else, but I'm just using this as a comparison. And we do so much in our 20s. We get the degrees and the letters and all of this stuff. And so we stand atop this false bravado of accomplishment in the engineered world, while someone else is going through experiences in life that become valuable to them down the stretch, that help them in actuality bypass that other one who thought it was just what you accomplish in the world and in the engineered system that will get you there. And now we're coming down the stretch and they're sputtering out and I'm picking up speed. I have no problem with the beginnings of anyone or what path that they chose, but I was told by many people, "You're messed up, Lance. You're not going to get anywhere, Lance." Not by my parents. My parents instilled in me that I can do anything at any time that I want to do, because I am a very determined person and I have a very strong will. I don't depend on the exoskeleton, the outward husk that the world will put you in and make you feel that you're protected because of what it has given you. No, I've always been taught to go into the inside of me, internally, and extract that vast bit of resources that I have in my innerverse. And I've always been that way, much to the dismay of those who may have wanted me to be a follower of them, a subservient entity to them. They would never feel happy with me because my strength was not drawn from the external. My strength comes from the inside. And I know that I'm on a very unique path. And I never cared about what anyone else did or what time they did it in, because I know that my time not only was coming, but my time was always in the present to perfect what I was to become in the future. So here I am, very comfortable with myself. I've had 6 decades with myself, more than enough time to understand and know myself, because I've always wanted to face myself. I've always wanted to ask myself questions. I've always wanted to be that curious person as to why I did things and what made me me. Many people don't want to see or face the inside, the internal. They want to douse themselves with drugs. They want to douse their life with distractions. Alcohol in them is an everyday, daily thing. But why should it be when the world is so beautiful and we only have but so much time to learn ourselves, to fly higher? People say sometime, you're always mentioning your age. Well, pretty much after this particular junction point, I might not. I may only do it here, because the way I see it, I am energy. Energy doesn't age. So why do you call out your age, Lance? Because it's the same as when you go on a highway for a long distance trip to another state, to another region. You can understand by the signs that are there how close you are to your goal, because you're not racing time, because it doesn't exist. But how close you are to reaching your goal of reaching that destination. So if I'm in New York City, right, and I'm driving down to Florida, and so I get into New Jersey. Well, I know I'm in New Jersey. I see the signs as I descend down I-95 to get to the next state. I pass Philadelphia. I get down to Washington and Maryland. I go a little more south and get down into Virginia. I'm not rushing the trip to Florida. I'm only acknowledging where I stand, so I know by gauging myself, I can put more foot on the pedal and increase my speed or lay back. Because by the time I get to Georgia, it doesn't mean that I encompass all things Georgia. I'm passing through. But it's nice to know where you are. Maybe I will stop off at a rest stop and grab a bite to eat and speak to the people who have different accents than those who are up north. But it doesn't mean I'm staying there. I think it's sad that so many people don't understand where I'm coming from, because this is a journey. I'm not going to be on this plane forever. I hope to vibrate higher. But isn't it sad that those who don't understand this don't understand the importance of vibrating higher, because it's not the chronological time, it's how high you vibrate. And if I don't have enough vibration, I'm not going to make it when it's time for transition. I'll transition, but I won't be vibrating higher, because I was caught up in the lower vibrations of this world, as so many of us do. There are people now, not to put anybody down, but I don't gravitate toward them, because they're not seeking to go higher. They're not seeking to do better. They're not seeking to be a better version of themselves today than they were yesterday. And that's a waste of time. They're content to indulge in the bodily functions, which we have no choice to do in. Going to the bathroom, number one. Number two, sleeping, eating, maybe having sex, which is not mandatory. But that's it for them. They will stay right there. I'm not better than anybody, but I think that my choices to vibrate higher are a little better if that's my goal. And if all you can do is be the bringer of hearsay, gossip, this one did this and did, what are you doing to make yourself better? I can't. That is actually holding me down when my mind, I'm not saying when that it does, but if my mind got caught up in that, it's the same as a plane trying to ascend into the heavens and a whole flock of birds come in and clog up the engines. Guess what? You're going to fall. So I don't worry. I show concern for a time. Just because you may be ailing doesn't mean you take the medicine forever. Because after a while, after you're healed, the medicine will become poison, now wouldn't it? So you do just enough at that particular point to get you to that next level, but you never linger on that one plane. Just because other people around you can't get it, they don't understand it, they stay in that lane, that level. Even though they may talk righteousness and spirituality to you, verbally plagiarizing other people and other platforms, just to appear to be on your same level, all the while hating you for being on that level they know you are, and they try to crush you. You have to get away from these people. So now that I have successfully accomplished that in my life, nothing can stop me. I've said it before. It's free and clear. But what does 60 mean to me? Well, I'm technically now still 59 until 5:34 in the morning. But I think back to the time when I was 49. Did I say 49 before? No, 59 now. But I think back to the time when I'm 49, getting ready to turn 50. Well, soon that will be 10 years ago. But 10 years is not 10 years at different junction points in your life. From 1 to 10 brought a certain level of development, mentally, physically, and spiritually. From 10 to 20 brought another ascension. On the physical level, from 1 to 20, there have been great changes. And then we go from 20 to 30, and then we have the emotional, the mental, the spiritual development that we don't see. People will see me and say, Lance, wow, I haven't seen you for 40 years. You look good for your age. What have you been doing? Well, around 40 years ago, I was doing a little bit of everything. But I've learned from those experiences in a good way and learned to get away from those things because I realized that it's toxic to me. But from 49 to 59, what have I learned? What have I accomplished? Am I going to use the same formula that got me from 49 to 59, right? And continue this thing on from 59 to 69? It shouldn't be that way. I should have learned a lot in the last 10 years as I did from the prior 10-year period of 39 to 49. I'm going somewhere with this now. But now the journey never stays on a straight lane. We have turns and twists, and there should be a lot of wisdom that I gained in this time. So from 59 to 69 should make the 49 to 59 level pale in comparison because I've mastered so many other things. What am I to master? Well, I hope if I'm blessed with the time to be here till 69, that I would have accomplished much more from 59 to 69 than I did from 49 to 59 and all of the prior 10-year periods. So I'm demanding more of myself. I expect more of myself, not in the man-made engineered world because I'm completely detached from that this way. I'm still here. There's still bills that I have to pay until I'm completely out of it, but I'm partially out of it. And that in itself is a success because I told many people many decades ago who looked at me with the side eye and pushed their nose up that I will not have a mortgage that I'm paying. I will not be in this country. I will not be on any man's job by the time I'm 60 years old. Guess what? I manifested that because of my willpower and because of being able to see other opportunities in how big the world is. Because so many people live in a narrow box, meaning that they can have the biggest mansion, they can have the most money, but they are shackled, like actual shackles, from their wrists and their ankles and their waistline down to the ground where they can't ascend. So you see them having all of these things, but they cannot get over the envy that they have for other people, even when they have more than the next person. They can't get over feeling jealous of the next person when the next person makes gains. But see, too many people are looking at the financial and monetary gains or losses that people make, but they don't understand what's going on the inside. How we can look the same in our visage, right? But we're different on the inside. So sometimes when getting around others who I know may not be in my corner, I'll play the court gesture. They may say, oh, he's a fool. He's going nowhere. I'll control him. And all the while I'm looking at them like, fool, you don't know that I got you pinned. I know it's in your heart. I'm a slippery person. You can't put me in that position. You got to be slick. You got to be strong. You got to be smart, but you have to know yourself. And so understanding that this is a journey and that really the chronological age doesn't make me, where some people say, well, you know, you're at this age, man, you need to go on down, sit down somewhere and enjoy your life. Enjoying my life is not pursuing getting better. Enjoying my life is to sit down, do nothing and get stale. To enjoy my life is to sit down and not manifest these seeds of greatness inside of me. So from this period of 59, and this time tomorrow, technically I'll be 60. I want that next 10-year period to be awesome, to be the most productive, to learn all of the lessons that I've learned in this lifetime thus far, and pull it all together and have signature moment after signature moment. And what do I mean by that? When you see Michael Jordan, those of you who follow basketball and you say that he's the greatest basketball player, he has signature moments of when he did some incredible things on the court. Now, he may not have too many signature moments in his personal life, because I don't dig the brother too tough with the things that he's doing, with owning prisons and the money he's making from the sneakers and not doing something for the black community except to spend money to keep or profit off of black men in prison. I can't roll with that. Mike Tyson has signature moments in the boxing ring. Even when his life was in turmoil, that part of him that was a student of the game of boxing rose to the occasion, and now we look on YouTube at the devastating knockouts and fights that he's had, even though he's had losses. Same with Muhammad Ali. So for me, after all I've been trained to know, from birth when my parents instilled certain things in me until the time I walked around in a fog full of lust with many women, doing all kind of things in my early 20s to coming around till now. It's never too late to pick up the pieces, put them together, but you have to get rid of what's no good for you. You have to leave that behind. That's the issue with us. And so now, too much information, but symbolically, when I woke up this morning, I was good. In the middle of the afternoon, I felt like a bad case of diarrhea. It's not too much information. That was my body saying, I want to get rid of some of the things that are inside of you before you hit that point. Because it's like a graduation to me. But it doesn't mean that when you graduate high school that you don't have a desire to learn anymore. It's a junction point to see and celebrate how far you've gone. And for me, this is what it is. Because now I can compare this particular junction point to my elders, my father and my mother. Where were they at 60 in their life? What misjudgments did they do? What did they do right? So we have blueprints and templates for us to learn from those who came before us on what not to do sometimes. Not just the things to do, but what not to do in our lives as far as our decisions. Because their book and their chapters have been written on this level. You are writing your chapters in your book right now. And I have a clean slate. I have a clean slate. And there are many people who are older than me on the chronological tip that are very bitter with their lives, and they will be bitter with you when you realize that you have a clean slate and you can make anything great happen. This is only the beginning for me. I want to vibrate higher. I want to accomplish more on my standard and share with the world nuggets of things that I see inside me, that I feel, that have me righteously agitated to accomplish, to put them on display, not to show off. Not to just go after money. We need money in this system, yeah. But I don't want to die empty. And I'm not saying dying because I'm not dying. I will transition. But like the great Pastor Miles Monroe said, he does not want to die empty. I got too much inside of me. And when we look at the graveyards, we see so many ideas and so many things that could have happened that didn't happen. And yes, we probably will always have something inside of us, but don't take the time that is man-made, but the time on this earth in your journey through life for granted. There's something that you can do today. Doesn't mean that you can't rest. Doesn't mean that you can't take time and meditate and go within yourself, because that is part of the process. So don't run yourself crazy racing the clock, no. But go on your time. The real time that exists. The clock, that's artificial. What's inside of you and that inner voice when it tells you, today is a day I need to do this. Today is a day that I need to do that. Whatever it may be, you heed that voice, because that's the real time. So 60 years old is a celebration for me, but it's not the end all, because like a person who is graduating elementary school, I'm looking forward to middle school. Like a person who's graduating from middle school, I'm looking forward to going to high school. And like the person who's graduated high school, I'm looking forward to going to college. And there are more institutions of learning, and then there are more things that you can learn as we learn about the world and the human body and technology and all these different things. You never stop learning. So for me to sit down and say, well, I'm retired and I'm 60 years old and I'm just going to enjoy myself. I'm going to go and get drunk. I'm going to go and become a whoremonger. I'm going to just go and be a glutton and eat all the food in the world. Well, then you're not really understanding what life is. In all of the prior decades that you've lived, you haven't learned anything. Why do you want to become intoxicated with things on a lower level when there's so much wonderful things in life to enjoy? Looks to me that you don't like the life that you live. I love deep conversation with someone who can challenge me or take me to a certain level of in the cerebral. I love to laugh. I love to titillate. I love to be thought-provoking. I love to take these things to bring my fellow brothers and sisters higher as much as I can. I don't know everything. There are people who know way more than me, but they bring me up because they see I have a desire to learn. Some people just want to get on the phone and talk about the family dysfunctions of things, day after day, year after year. I see it. I see it. Trust me, I see it. And they escort and dance and waltz with each other, locked arm in arm, all the way to the point of transition, which for them will be death. Incestuous. And when funerals come, we have to face that those who will be locked into this dysfunctional connection, we're reminded of our mortality. I have no time for that. There's so much life here. I'm reminded of the things as vast as the sky is, and it's an overcast sky today. You'll see no sun on this video, but that's okay, because I know behind that cloud that's right over there over the mountain, there's a beautiful sun shining for me, that has rays just for me, that when the clouds move, and it might not be tonight because it's time for it to be completely dark soon, but tomorrow, if the clouds are out of the way, the sun will look at me and shine straight down. Rays to touch my body and no one else. Yes, it's touching everybody else, but there's specific rays that are there for me. Just the same way we have to know that we all have a mission specifically for us. And if we're concerned about the missions of all other people, if our egos are hurt, if we're designated to be the one to wash the dishes behind in the back in the restaurant and not get the accolades of the chef, or we're supposed to be the one to sweep the floors when they're doing their performance in a play, but nobody stands and gives us a standing ovation, it's okay. Whatever your mission is, you're supposed to do it, and you're supposed to do it wholeheartedly with all your heart and love. Long before I got in front of a camera, I'm an artist. I wasn't looking for attention. I was just drawing my pictures, and whenever it was done, I would put it up. Evidently, that just wasn't my mission. There were other things that were my mission. This is part of it, and I'm looking forward to seeing the things that have nothing to do with YouTube or social media in real life, but this has gotten me traction to meet others who are like-minded so that we can work on things to make our world better and the world better than when we came in to it. That's one of the goals. So I want to thank you all for your born day wishes. I'm not really focused on the number like most people, but I said, let me take the time And I'm not really going to mention it that much. I'm just going to do my mission and let my mission and my energy and my movement toward my goals to be the real keeper of time. Because nobody asks a great person that we read about in the books of history, whether it's known or whether it's hidden, because there's a lot of our history that's hidden. Well, he created this. What exact time did it happen? Was it when he was 58 or 34, or was it 4:59 in the afternoon? Nobody asked that. So now my accomplishments from within will be the thing that defines the time of my life, this season. Because when we're in fall or winter or spring or summer, whatever it is, we enjoy it for what it is. We're not sitting there marking time. Because no matter what, summer, spring, winter, and fall always arrives on time, whether you have a watch on your hand or not. All you have to do is look around. So for me, it's time to accomplish higher and do so much more. I just want to say to you, much love, salute to my brothers, much love to my sisters. I'm here and I will be here always. I hope to go live tonight if the power doesn't pop out again, but no matter what, we will be creating. And I want to thank you so much for the love and support that you've given me over the years. And I will continue on as a servant of my people, like-minded people, the people who look like me, yes, unapologetically, yes, and the people who feel and love like me from their heart, no matter who they are. Because like I said, there have been people who look like me who wish death and doom on me. I cannot reflect the same to them, yet I can't waste the love I have in my heart for people who have doom for me and who want me to stop doing what I'm doing because they haven't been blessed the way I've been blessed. But I will budget my love and give it out accordingly to those who deserve it. Much love to you all. LanceScurv out. On to the next one. Let me hear your comments. Peace.